Tail light? More like new light. That is an awful bad joke, but unlike that joke, this is going to be a better guide. So we're going to show you how to replace the tail light bar, which pretty much goes all the way across for the Cybertruck. We have a crack in the middle of the tail light, but we have a brand new one. That's what matters. So we're going to replace it. It's pretty easy. We actually did a video about adding this, and it's very similar to that, but I felt like it deserved a video on its own. So whenever I work on any Teslas, for the most part, I always put it on service mode. It tends to have less issues, especially if you're adding some new items to the car or provisioning. So let's go ahead and put it on service mode real quick. And I've done this a lot for a lot of my videos, so we don't have to go into a detail right here, but you just put service once you hold down the foundation badge, and then you put it on service mode. That's what it does, and then we're good to go to start working on the car. So first off, what you need is, I would highly recommend getting a ratchet. You could have electric or a manual, whatever you have. Definitely a couple trim tools, and we sell some of those trim tools. It makes it so that you don't damage the car. And then a couple Torx, right? I believe we're using T40, but I might be wrong. It's somewhere in the T30 or T40. All right, so I have this bumper holder behind, and then I'm just gonna put it underneath it. The reason being, it's actually not gonna fall, but I still wanna support it in a way where it's not gonna like really fall. So right here, there is a T40 screw. We'll go ahead and loosen that up. All right, so I got that loosened up. This is the, I guess, a stopper, so it doesn't go all the way. Typically when I do this, I like loosening it a little bit first, manually, and then I use the electric component to it. We have a couple things that we need to remove. First off, we need to remove this panel. And to remove the panel, it's really not that difficult. Just watch out for these. But you just kind of go underneath. Okay, so you're just gonna go underneath right here. There you go. So, and then, there you go. And once you get it out, there you go. You just kind of work your way. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it down. That's okay. Okay, and I can start pulling a little bit. So once you do that, you have a bunch of screws right here. This is, I believe, again, Torx 40. T40. I was wrong. See, I knew I was wrong somewhere. But typically they use very similar. I believe it's my guess is T27. So we're gonna go ahead and loosen this up. All right, so we got that. And then there's 4 right here. Oh no, it fell. I'm just gonna go ahead and just swing it in here for now. I really don't need that. There are screws right here. I believe it is a 10 millimeter. I was wrong, it is an 8 millimeter, which I already have right here. So we're gonna go ahead and get our ratchet tool right here. And you could actually remove this whole thing, but I found it much easier of not having to. And for me, it's like, if you don't have to, why remove it, right? So try to work a little smarter instead of removing every single thing that I can see, right? So we got these 2 screws right here. So I'm just kind of loosening it and then just using my fingers afterwards. All right, so I got the 2 8 millimeter right there. And then once you do that, check this out. Look at the amount of access I'm getting underneath. There's a bunch of screws that actually holds the light. And if you look at this, check this out. I can actually show you now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 hex screws that's going to be bolted right in there that I'm actually going to be removing. So when I look under, just going to double check. It looks like a 27 to me when I look at that. All right, we're just going to put it underneath here. And you could, this is like the, I don't know what the word is, but not very proper. But I'm just loosening this up right here. There's a lot of space, to be honest. Just gotta make sure I'm in the right one. Oh, the other way. So a little bit of a defeat. I could not find my adapter from 3/8 to a 1/4. So I'm gonna have to manually do this, which kind of sucks, but hey, it's okay. This ain't gonna stop us from doing what we need to do. So let's get to it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and ratchet all this out. So one of the important parts of this process, guys, is having this little holder. And why is that important? Well, because this is the only thing that's currently holding the lights. So as soon as you remove this, what's gonna happen is literally gonna flop down. I believe they made an update on the Cybertrucks where it no longer does that, and it's a little bit harder to remove. But I do have a pretty early VIN, just so you guys know. So mine is literally gonna flop down like really easily. You'll probably see it do that. So honestly, manual is really not that bad. I thought it was gonna be worse. I already got 2 down, honestly. So pretty easy so far. There's another one right here. Oop, I heard that. So great. All right, so let's go ahead and get the 3rd one. How many did I say there was? There's, shoot, there's 8. That's a lot. A lot more than I thought. But hey, life is good. It's sunny in Chattanooga, so. Okay, so I'm just leveraging this one. Once you get, the thread isn't really that deep, if you can look right there. So it's really not that bad. Okay, well, at least the electro ratchet could do something. Oh, don't fall though. Maybe not. Ratchet is useless. Okay, I think this is gonna be the hardest one. So once I remove this one, I'm good. All right, so that's good. Okay, so this is the last. Okay, and put that screw right there. I'm gonna put everything away. I'm gonna take this out. Okay, all right. So check this out. As soon as I move it up, oh, it doesn't quite do that. All right, the reason being is these little clips right here. You see that? And then this little, a lot of times it just comes out, but not this case. Oh, there it is. It is not light, so be careful. And then you can go ahead and remove it. And when you remove it, check this out. There you go. That's it right there. So it held up totally fine. You don't have a whole lot of leash right there. The connector for the actual camera is right there. So we can go ahead and remove that as well. Guys, the camera gets quite hot, not to the point that it's piping hot, but it's a really hard connector. So I would highly recommend using like a trim tool like this. And what you want to do is just leverage it in there and then pull as soon as it's loosened. Okay, so a little hard to get some light in there, but it's okay. There you go. It's an obvious, there you go. It's an obvious sound. You'll hear the click sound right there. And then there are some harness right here that you do need to get out of. And you want to put this on the new one, right? Like you don't want to lose this one. Okay, so you can see that it just kind of clips out like this. This little connector as well. You just pull this. There you go. And then lastly, you got one more. Yep. There you go. So you see this teeth right there? I'm gonna just double check that it does have the teeth. If it doesn't, I'm gonna have to remove that as well. Let me just double check. Do you see the teeth? I don't think I see the teeth. Yeah, so right here, that's where I just removed it from. And then behind there, right here, needs the teeth, and this one needs the teeth. So I should need both of those. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. Sometimes they include it, sometimes they don't. It's okay if they don't. Very, very easy to remove these. These kind of grab that plastic by force and by pressure. And then you saw that it goes into this T right here, like so. And then this one was right behind it, right over here. So right over where the harness beneath it is. Boom. So I'm ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the older one. I'm gonna put it in a safe spot, which is, for now, the top of the Cybertruck. That's pretty safe, right? Since this video is about replacing it, I'm actually also gonna show you the replacement part. Whenever I work on cars, typically they'll have this plastic covering. I leave it on until I'm done. So let's go ahead and grab it. And then, let me see how, yep, this is the right orientation. I'm gonna do the same thing. I got this harness right here. Where does this go? Right over here. Boom, lock it up. This goes into original, right? This goes right here, and it clips in just like that. And then this part, I'll put the part number 2, does have the camera already installed, so I actually don't have to do that. So I'm gonna go ahead. If you look at this, there's a little bit of, I guess like a ledge right there. That's why this goes sideways. Typically, I think I've seen it more so go like straight forward like that. This one is not. You just go sideways and then push it in. You hear that lock. Pushing it in is a lot easier than removing it. So that's all you have to do though. So that makes it a lot easier, and I love these clips, which makes it even easier for me to actually put it in place. So couple stuff I want to just make sure, like these outer, I don't want them to be stuck, so I'm just going to remove it like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and slide this in, okay? This sliding in process is a little bit tricky because you see that harness right there? You definitely don't want that to be in the way. And then you can see, just going to put it down. You see how I just like slid it in and then I just put it down. And then I can kind of see where the holes are. So there's the hole right there. This is what I'm aiming for. This little crosshaired. And then there's a clip right there. So I am good on this side. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so I'm just gonna open this up. All right, line this up. Definitely not lining up, but all good. Cool, so I can still see that that other side is lined up. I can see where it's kind of getting a little stuck is right here. So I'm just gonna move it up, see if I could. There we go. So that side is good. A little bit of a finessing, but all good. Now let's check the middle right here. That's okay. I see it a little bit. Okay. And then I see that there's some issues right here. So I'm gonna go ahead. Okay. So I don't think this is causing any issues, but just in case it is, I'm just gonna go ahead and line that up a little bit. I can again see that this is in this side. Okay. This side is definitely not in. All right, it's got to be the ledge. Oh, okay, here we go. Finally came out. So right now, part of the issue is that this ledge right here is catching. So I think it's definitely how I put it in. But one thing I do want to do is I should compare it if there's been any changes. So you can see right here, this ledge actually looks the same. It's really, really dirty. Man, I did not realize how dirty that area gets. But the ledge is preventing it from for this coming out right now. Ah, here we go. All right, here we go. So, issue right here is that I did not swing all this in. And I'm not really sure why it was so hard, honestly, because that first time was so easy. There's no ledge at the bottom, so I don't think I have to worry too much at the bottom.
You mean that?
Alright, so that side and ledge is in. You see how everything is aligned from the top? And everything is actually in. So once everything is in, you'll notice that all the lines line up, right? So the main thing that I'm looking for is, do you see these tabs? I'm gonna try to do it while holding it with my foot. These tabs, there's a metal tab right there as well. And then you'll see this crosshair right here, and then all of them are starting to go in. So before I actually tighten everything, what I like to do is I just like to grab the bolts and start hand tightening them, right? Just make sure that it's in place and it's not going anywhere. Notice I started from the middle. Then I can go ahead and do that. And look at this, everything is lining up, which is a really, really good sign. Including here. So it's not in yet, but I can tell you right now that everything is lining up because all the tabs are lining up. So here's another one right here. There we go. Once I push that in a little bit more.
Good.
There you go. And then one up here. Another one there. All right, that was a little bit of a struggle, but hey, worth it. So we're inside, we're still in service mode. What you want to do is you can go to cameras, and right now it is showing us that backup camera actually works. So I'm gonna go to the back. It is working immediately, right? If it doesn't work, you could actually reset the camera, and we did a video on that I'll probably just do a link out to, but it's reset DAS, that's what it is. And typically it kind of resets cycles, all the cameras, and then it brings it back on. In our case, because we were typically on, I have found that when you are in service mode and then you make changes like that, it typically just kind of works right away, compared to if you weren't on service mode, you change it and the car's gonna go crazy, right? So always be on service mode when you're working on stuff like that. So great news, everything is going according to plan, although we did have some hiccup on actually putting in. Just be careful on the ledge. It's a little bit weird because if you try to put, what I did wrong earlier, just so I can tell you exactly what I did wrong, is I try to put one side first. So you really, if you have someone, have them hold it. I'm trying to do this all by myself. And try to put it all at once because it needs to be completely flush all together instead of one side at a time. Once you do one side, it's such a wide tailgate that it tends to leverage a little bit, and then it puts like one other side off, right? So we're gonna go ahead, change my tool right here, and go ahead and start. I really need to have like a holder or something. But go ahead and tighten it now. All right, guys, so you're not overdoing it. However, this is the tailgate, so you don't want to like loosely do it. But I like doing it little by little. This is not tight, but it's tight enough right now. And again, as you get to the edges, it just gets way easier, which is awesome. You heard that? That's the clips. So before you tighten it, you should just verify that this clip is being visible right here. So we got two more now. These are easy as well. And the last one's easy. And then for this one, this is what you want to see. You see this crosshair? You want to make sure that that's in place. You don't want to tighten this down without seeing that, right? Because that means that everything is aligned, okay? We got, I believe, 3 more on the other side. So we got one right here. These are pretty tight. All right. There you go. As long as that was in, that's really all I'm looking for. Okay. And then I got 2 more. Right, so I got this really loose one, which is fine. There you go. So I think alignment point, it makes it really easy because it needs to slot into that, right? If it doesn't slot in, that means your alignment is wrong. Stop what you're doing, loosen it, make sure it's aligned, and then tighten it, okay? So once I get to this point, I have most of everything tightened. You can see that everything is flushed, and you can kind of give yourself a visual inspection, but then you can start tightening a little bit more of the screws. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a few more here. Again, you're not overdoing it, guys. I could do some research real quick and see what the torque level is, like how much pounds you want, but typically for lights and stuff, you really don't have to overdo it. I mean, you're talking pretty low pounds. So just keep that in mind. You're not overpowering anything. But at the same time, you don't want your lights to fall off while you're driving, right? So you'll feel some resistance. Once you feel some resistance, that's kind of your point to stop. Go a little bit more, and then that's it. Again, there's more space that comes out because everything is evenly being tightened. So there's going to be some resistance here. I'll stop. Last one, guys. Awesome. So everything is tightened. I can verify that. And then we pretty much have to do the reverse, which is going to be getting all these bolts in. I do like to just kind of put everything in place first. Also, just a reminder, I would highly recommend wearing gloves. I have a really bad habit of not wearing gloves. I also have like really rough hands, but it is dirty. So I'm definitely going to be, this is like really dirty. All right, so now that we're at this process, I am going to go ahead and use the electric one. Be careful with the electric. It's very, very easy to overdo it. So in this case, just go, wrong one again. All right, here we go. Once I feel that, boom, done. That's why I like the impacts. There we go. And then you got 4, what was this? 8 millimeter. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that as well. This is an 8 mil. That's it. See how lightly I do it? I don't overdo it. Same thing here. All right, so the main thing for this, guys, is giving yourself enough slack so you're not overly doing it and it's completely straight. So this is a little bit loose, the ring. And then once you get to that point, oh, the other way, leverage it. There you go. And then this little hole, okay. I'm gonna do the other side as well first before I do that. So let's go ahead and put this in. Boom. That went in pretty easy. Okay, and then I actually like to just manually do it. I don't go all the way to the end. And same thing here. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm pretty close. Awesome. So I got my hinge, and I know I have a cover, but let's just double check. This looks good. We know the lights work, and we're good to go. The last step here, we're almost done, is this little cover. And the thicker part goes at the top, the thinner part goes in the bottom. These clips can be a little dangerous, but these are a little bit different. They're not like the metal ones you saw earlier. However, you just want to make sure that everything is absolutely aligned. One tip right here is, you see this little star or T27. It's right by where it is, right? I think this one's a little bit easier to align, so you're gonna go ahead and align it. I already got it in for that side. And you can go ahead and do the same thing. There you go. And then the middle gets pretty easy. You just push it in. Okay? That's pretty much it. I'm gonna get all my tools out. But that is how you replace the tailgate light. And that looks really good. Actually, that doesn't look good. So you saw that it was kind of lifted up. You want to push it in, right? So always look at what you're doing first and then make sure that you have it done right. So it's just hard to see sometimes. Hopefully that helped you guys. Hopefully you guys don't break your tail light like I did. But if you did, it's gonna cost you a little bit for the parts, but it's really not that bad. There are a few struggles here and there to replace. So if you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. Hopefully this was super helpful. Click on that subscribe button. We have a lot more guides for you for Cybertruck and other Teslas, and we'll see you later.